Hi guys, this is Tiago Palhoto from Do It Agile, and welcome to another Agile Snack. Today, we are going to talk about how the team should organize their iteration time during the iteration planning, to have a clear understanding of how realistic the proposed iteration goal is. Stick with me for the next 3.5 minutes, and you'll find out if your team is considering all the variables when they determine their availability. But before we go, don't forget to like and share this video if you find it helpful. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button to be notified when I publish a new video. So, let's get started. The first thing that you want to do before starting to plan your iteration is to determine the team's availability. Let's say that this container represents the total availability of the team. Before doing any plans, we need to acknowledge that this availability is made up from 3 different elements. The first one is taxes. This element is about the type of events that are certain to happen, just like taxes do. This is the time each team member dedicates to be a good corporate citizen. Attend company or HR meetings, reading emails, or helping a colleague in a project that he participated several years ago. It can also include the time dedicated to ceremonies, just like the one we are talking about. It's a good rule of thumb to dedicate 25% of the overall available time to taxes. The second element is planned time. This is the time that the team will use to build the backlog items required to reach the iteration goal. Your team definitely wants this element to take most of the allotted time. The last element is the unplanned time. Every iteration has its own share of surprises, and the unplanned time is there to cope with that. This is obvious when the team is providing support to a released product and developing new features in parallel. The best example of using unplanned time is during the immediate resolution of bugs, the ones that cannot be left for later. When this amount of time, this unplanned time, is not considered in the initial plan and is acknowledged as planned time, the agreed strategy to achieve the iteration goal just falls apart. After all, the commitment was made based on the wrong assumption of the real planned time available. There is no specific rule to determine the percentage of unplanned time that should be considered during the iteration. After all, this is clearly a learning situation based on observation, and it can be adapted every iteration. You may ask now, what happens if there are not that many surprises and we end up with free unplanned time? Well, you simply convert it into planned time and use it to finalize existing or pending elements, or to pick more items from the backlog in case all the initial work was already done. In the end, it's always based on the planned time that the team must validate if it has the required availability to implement the committed backlog items. Let's take a quick look at an example of how the use of the planned time can have a significant impact on a realistic iteration goal. This is Team Victoria. It has 6 members who are supporting a solution release in production while they keep developing new features. Each team member works the standard 8 hours a day, and they are about to start another 2 weeks iteration. The entire team has a total of 480 hours available. The iteration goal that the team is evaluating is estimated to take around 410 hours. Let's assume that in scenario 1, the team doesn't care about the way the time is split. They just assume they have the 480 hours as planned time, and because of that, they had no problems committing to the iteration goal, which would be, in theory, a bad decision. However, with scenario 2, the team adopts the following principles. 25% of their time is set aside for taxes. Based on the experience from previous iterations, they allocate 15% of their time for unplanned time. The remaining 60% is left for planned time. Based on this scenario, the team would not commit to the iteration goal, which would be the right thing to do.